Thanks for joining us today. I'm Chris Cross. I serve as the Athletic Director here at Cedarville University. We're continuing our series on celebrating the 50th anniversary of Title IX. And today we have the pleasure of talking with Coach Callan, who served at Cedarville University in the athletic department for 38 years. From 1961 to 1998, Coach Callan had the pleasure of serving as the Athletic Director and head men's basketball coach. Dr. Callan has been inducted into the NAIA, the NCCAA, the Taylor University, and the Cedarville University Athletics Hall of Fame. So a very historic and prestigious career by Coach Callan as he served in athletics. Coach Callan oversaw the increase of athletic programs at Cedarville from 2 programs to 14 programs throughout his career at Cedarville University. So Coach Callan, thanks for joining us today. So Coach, could you talk about opportunities that women had even before Title IX at Cedarville University?
I'll try to. You're digging into my memory bank now. But yes, I came and I was, there was a lady, Barb McIntosh was the wife of the dean of students. And she had 2 or 3 basketball games with women's basketball when I came. And so we talked about it and I said, well, we need to hire someone. And that's when I went out and found June Kearney, who was a tailor, and I was still tight with them because I hadn't been gone that long. And so I went over and one evening and met with the people there, and before I left, I hired her. And so we got along famously, and so she was my first hire, and it was a woman, and I can't remember we ever had any question. I had my choice, and I went and hired her.
So the sports that were here when you started in 1961, was that women's basketball, field hockey, and cheerleading? Would that be correct?
Beyond that, I don't remember we had any other sport.
Yeah. And so as you progressed in your career through the 70s and into the 80s, talk about the addition of other women's sports. I know you think you added women's cross country, women's track, volleyball.
The running events followed the men, actually, because I started the men's track and cross country. And that was because the kids were crying for it. And I did that. And then June came, she said, well, why can't we do it? And I said, I see no reason. We don't have any money. She said, I don't need money. I got the kids. I could get them out there and get them running. And so she took charge of that. And of course, we had the fortunate situation of being here at Cedarville, where Dr. Jeremiah's daughter, Mary Alice Jeremiah, was local and became a good friend with June, and they joined forces. Eventually, we hired Mary Alice, and she became she was the driving force.
So from your point of view and your historical perspective, could you talk about how Cedarville's provide equal opportunity for both men's and women's sports throughout the decades?
Yeah, the truth of the fact is, I guess I didn't know any better. I thought that's the way it ought to be. Yeah. So we started trying to add a little bit to the budgets, and that was the key factor. Yeah. Money was a key factor in those days, obviously. Dr. Jeremiah was very interested because daughter Mary Alice was in athletics, and so it was not a hard sell at all. Yeah. And so he provided funds for us to run those programs as they came up. But no, June was probably she was the key element, and I knew I had to hire a woman when we had an open spot.
So what are some good memories of our women's athletics program that jump out in your mind over the years?
Well, you know, we were on the cutting edge with women's sports. We held the state women's basketball tournament and ended up winning it. Yeah. Mary Alice in charge.
That included teams like Ohio State?
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I think we beat Ohio State in the finals. Yeah. And so we were not hiding anyway. Everyone knew we were here, and they knew that athletics meant something to Cedarville.
Well, thanks, Coach Callan, for taking time to talk with us this morning. Okay. Again, as in everything we do here at Cedarville, we look to honor Christ with what we have been given. So thank you for joining us today, and for everything we do here in Cedarville, it's for Him.